Hi there, my name is John Quees Bouye, and this is my ethical leadership presentation for Cal Bap University, Class Chem 505, Ethics and Leadership for Dr. Garrett. The overview of this presentation is to understand leadership qualities and skills needed for the careers of athletic training and physical therapy, with the understanding of certain leadership styles needed for their followers, the use of leadership strategies, and the qualities to solve ethical dilemmas within both fields. As I previously stated, my chosen careers were athletic training and physical therapy. The reason why I chose athletic training: as a long term athlete, I've always been drawn to improving skills and fitness through sports, exercise, and weightlifting. Athletic training gives the best of both worlds for fitness through fitness improvement and injury prevention. As well as I've always been motivated to motivate myself and motivate others to push past their own, goals as a team captain or ex team captain. This kind of got me into physical therapy as an ex-athlete because I went through my own injuries and went through my own experiences. And helping people get back to their daily sport and daily activities has always been an interest of mine after going through, through it myself. So my leadership styles would be transformational leadership and servant leadership. For both careers, it's kind of a mixture of both. So a transformational leader is a leader who motivates others to change for the better and provide support to help followers achieve more than they would on their own. I would use this in my careers because I would motivate people by trying to reach certain goals and reach certain exercises that they don't think they can do. A lot of times people tend to have their own limitations, and I want to help them push past their limitations. So I'd set new goals every time to help them reach those goals and not hinder themselves. And a servant leader is someone who places the interests and needs of others over their own and focuses on the interaction between leader and follower to show how leaders are attentive to their followers and concerns and needs. Yes, I would use servant leadership by assessing how my athletes are doing or how my clients are doing and letting them know, like, I'm always here for any advice. If you need anything, come talk to me. If you need me to be by your side during a certain injury or anything like that, please let me know. I'll help assess, properly guide you through, the rehabilitation process and, let you know that if there's anything I can do to help, I'll give you information. I'll give you, printouts to do, stretches or other things to help you get back to your normal daily activities. So some of the pros to my leadership style are followers would, want to seek the same high standard as me. So I got to hold myself to a higher standard and make sure that I do that on an everyday basis. Demonstrate high levels of moral and ethical behavior. So if I'm not demonstrating my ethical behavior at a high level, others won't either. So an example of this, a lot of student athletes look up to athletic trainers and sports coaches. So if I'm not holding myself to a high standard, then those student athletes won't hold themselves to a high standard. So I can't show them I'm doing any wrong, or they might think, that a certain type of behavior is okay when it's really not. Followers are encouraged to think for themselves, and leaders provide an open environment where all ideas are valued. Yes. For my leadership, I would be open to hearing new ideas, hearing how people are motivated themselves, how people kind of want to be motivated, and what their values are in life to help them. This will help me motivate them in a better way. So for servant leadership, a pro is leadership demonstrated whenever those served by that leader are positively transformed into leaders themselves. This is pretty much stating, as a physical therapist, when I'm helping somebody through a certain injury, let's say an ankle sprain, and I give them that type of guidance and information, that when they know somebody else that went through that same ankle sprain, they'll give that same advice and same leadership to that person. And servant leadership manifests from patient therapist interaction by establishing relationships and engaging patients to build ownership. So yes, through my style, I want my patients to build ownership, through their journey. I will keep telling them that, you have to push past certain things and you have to build your own self motivation and self ownership so you can accomplish the tasks that you want to do on a daily living, and you can push through these certain injuries and dysfunctions, but that only comes from constant reassurance and client interaction and trust. Some of the cons for transformational leadership is people do prefer rewards for the task. So let's say I have an athlete, he's very motivated. I've taught him to be self-motivated, but sometimes that first place is demeaning. So when he doesn't get a first place in a race, and he kind of gets demeaned and his motivation goes away a little bit. And a con for servant leadership is they're influenced by the context of the organization. So, if an organization is not highly influenced or not showing great characteristics, sometimes servant leaders tend to follow that. Some of the qualities I thought were important for for my type of leadership are charisma. Charisma is something that people are drawn to. It's kind of like your characteristics are being drawn by people and that they're interested in, who you are as a person. But according to the book, having charisma is not enough. Leaders must have knowledge and skills. So this is where informational power, expert power come in. Because as an athletic trainer or physical therapist, it's my job to give people information. It's my job to, show them that I am the expert and that I am, teaching them something to help them to reach their goals. And lastly, authoritative management. Authoritative management is, pushing the client while having engagement, but without having that my way, the highway attitude. Leadership strategies. Some of the leadership strategies I would implement are setting challenging goals, uphold certain standards, build a positive relationship, and create an engaging environment. So the application of these strategies to build a positive relationship, you want to build it through communication, creating a bond of trust, creating feedback, helping engagement, so that way clients and athletes are comfortable with you and trust in you to train them and to come to you for advice. Create an organizational standard and atmosphere for the organization. Once you have a certain standard, people tend to want to reach that standard. This is going to help turn my athletes and clients into transformational leaders themselves by setting those standards high and keeping those standards whenever they come into that atmosphere. Set high goals to motivate individuals as well as cause a sense of self-motivation. Setting high goals, we would implement this by trying to keep for athletes keep hitting a certain weight or keep reaching a certain point where you're getting better, reaching mile times faster, anything like that. And for clients, it's more so reaching certain reps through exercise when I know like it's a struggled exercise, but this is going to cause a sense of self-motivation and it's going to cause them to be transformational leaders and have that transformational leadership mentality. Lastly, is create high engagement and feedback from followers with the recognition of power from leaders. So this is pretty much engaging in conversation, hearing feedback on how things are going, how they're doing, but also recognizing as a leader, it's my job to motivate them throughout that engagement. It's my job to reassure them every time we have that engagement and to never let them demean themselves while showing true belief that they can achieve something. So for my ethical dilemmas, I found according to Chen et al. And DeVoe, are client confidentiality, creating professional boundaries, return to play decisions and conflicts of interest, treating everyone with the same standard. Solutions to these ethical dilemmas. So for creating professional boundaries, you have to make it known what those boundaries are. You have to control potential conversations. You have to control the environment a little bit so that your athletes and clients know what those boundaries are and that they should not be broken. An example of this is politics. You want to control the conversation of politics within an environment because this causes friction. So you have to state the boundary is, no politics are to be talked about within this environment at all. Solution for return to play decisions. According to the book, Genius Van is a great one. It's understanding two opposing thoughts and using those two opposing thoughts to make a valid decision. For treating everyone with the same standard, set examples. Set examples of the equal standards, and use a policy of equal treatment for everybody, so those standards are known within the athletic facility or within the business of your physical therapy. Lastly, is client confidentiality. For this solution, it was to be abide by HIPAA. HIPAA is something that is very well known, and it just means that client's information stays between the profession or professional and that client. So from my Christian perspective, I chose Chronicles 16:11. Let your search be for the Lord and his strength. Let your hearts ever be turned to him. So this is pretty much saying, look for the Lord and his strength, and he'll guide you through anything, any goal, any achievement you want to accomplish. An example of this is, praying before workouts, games for athletes, and, letting them know, like, if you pray for the Lord and you look for his strength, he will guide you to reach your goals, and he will always motivate you to be better on any given day. Some of the course takeaways, something I learned throughout the course is there are different types of leaderships that manifest through, relationships and styles and positions. I didn't know that, there's different types of leaderships needed for certain positions and certain leadership styles needed for certain relationships. And for the other course takeaway is understanding, the ethical dilemmas in sports. I learned a lot about the ethical genders, race, ethical dilemmas within sports, and how, we can further that understanding. The book has taught me a lot about moral ethics and morals and ethics, and understanding that there's no simple answer because other people do have different morals and ethics. So understanding how to use strategies and implement different types of leaderships to find a solution is something I learned throughout this course. And these are my references. Thank you very much for watching.